معنا الموضوع الأخير الآن اعتماد المكتب الإلكتروني والتدريب المستمر للقوى البشرية. معنا السيد محمد زياد من مايكروسوفت. تفضل.
السلام عليكم. صباح الخير. Good morning, everyone. First of all, I would like to thank you for the opportunity. My name is Mohammed Zayed. I'm a solution specialist for modern workplace. Listening to the previous presentation, it's going to be very difficult to speak about how flexible and mobile we can be in this world. It's scary time outside, and I totally agree on many of the things that has been mentioned around how we need to make sure that we are secure and we are taking the necessary measures in order to make sure that we minimize as much as possible the attack. The main challenge that we have today is that we're living in a mobile world. Who here does not use WhatsApp? Who uses WhatsApp? Who uses WhatsApp for some important information that I need to share my colleague, work information related? Correct. So it's very difficult with the amount of digital abundance of technologies that we have, that we don't use that. So the main idea of my conversation today is that how can I make sure, especially the new generation that they are coming with mobiles all the time, how can they share, but at the same time to be more secure? So I'm sure you know about what's happening inside Microsoft and the technology. We had a CEO, new CEO 2 years ago. He completely revamped the organization from inside. And these are the main 4 pillars that we have done inside Microsoft, and I'm sharing that with all openness. And then I think some of my colleagues spoke around digital transformation and how an organization, entities, public sector, commercial, are focusing their efforts into how do they engage with the customer or their citizen in that case, how do they manage to change their service, how to make it easy for the consumer or the citizen to reach the service, and how is the organization from inside is changing. At the same time, the people are changing. So we heard the word millennial. I would say there is multi-generation in every team today. There is people in their 20s, 30s, 40s, and 50s inside the same team. So how can I cater to all of these differences? How can I make sure that my services, as well as my internal services, can be done inside the organization as well? So there is a short video. I don't know if it's going to run. It didn't run, so it's fine. So I'll move into this. So this is what I was talking about the sense of purpose, new generation, new culture. How many people here are involved in HR or they interact with HR? Human resources, موارد بشرية. Okay? So, I'm gonna give it another try.
Think.
Okay, so the main idea of the video was how artificial intelligence and machine learning can help you become more collaborative, and I'm going to spend time on this. With the amount of information that we're getting in front of us, I'm sure that when we work on a certain topic today, it's not as easy as it used to be, because the amount of information that we're seeing on the internet, people are sharing blogs, entities that they are doing some best practice. I'm taking these best practices. So amount of information that it's getting is much more than before. And what I'm going to focus on is that how in Microsoft we're trying to wrap up and take the artificial intelligence and machine learning and making it very easy. The one thing that I wanted to mention here, because it makes sense after the previous session, is that how we are embedding today security in every single module that I'm going to speak about. How I'm embedding things in order to detect the false link, the safe attachment, the malwares that are coming. So we have taken into consideration, because of the digital world, because of the attacks that can happen on an USB, that can do a theft and credential compromises, how can I capture all of this? But I'm not going to spend time on that, because the main thing is how HR is transforming. So I'm sure you know about Outlook and the email. How many know about SharePoint? Okay. So we have revamped the intranet and the internal portal. And I believe the portal inside the organization is a clear testament about how the organization is transforming, helping the employee to transform. So two things we've added in SharePoint, something called learning management solution. So previous speaker, we're speaking about how can I make sure that cybersecurity, our employees are trained on it. So this is one of the pillars that organizations today are using it. Entities are using it in order to become much more aware. How can I get all of the information, the abundance of information that is outside, and I push it to the people based on their needs? Anybody knows about Yammer? Okay, so Yammer is, I would say, if you want to put it in a different terms, it's your Facebook inside your organization. So again, if you recall, I've mentioned at the beginning, we have different generation. People like to post, people like to share, people like to get information based on their needs and their search pattern. So Yammer, we have implemented a kind of Facebook for inside the organization. We can share the funny stuff, the birthdays and so on, but we can share as well information that helps the organization to become better, to serve the citizen better, and internally to learn better. So we have a product today that you can get more or less what's happening outside, and you give it to your employees to become more collaborative. The other thing which we launched recently is called Microsoft Teams. So how many of us, when today I need a project or I need to deliver an end result or a goal, I have to work across department in my organization? Okay? And how many would go outside of their organization? If I have a central, let's say, for example, in the case of Kuwait, there is Kate and there are other ministries, and we're working with them, or one ministry with another ministry. There is a new law that's going to touch a certain division or work of life, and I want to make sure that I work across these ministries. So we came up with something called Microsoft Teams, and Microsoft Teams is kind of your WhatsApp for the organization. So I can build teams, we can work together, and I'm going to show the user interface. It's very difficult to move, but on the left-hand side, you will see the teams. And inside, on the right-hand side, this is where I put my file, my chat, my video collaboration, all my collaboration on one side. So I can build different teams that cuts across the departments in the organization. So today, I don't have to work only with my team. I work with my team, and I work with the teams that are from different departments. IT is going to launch a new service or a new application, and I want to make sure that I work with IT, and I'm going to work with finance or HR or whoever. So how can I build these two teams together, and how can I work with them? And we have that solution, which is, again, it's implemented internally, it is secure internally, people can access it on their mobile, they can work on their mobile, they can chat on their mobile, they can pass information on their mobile. So Teams is available on iOS, on Android, on all the tablets operating system, and of course on Windows. So Teams is one of the important products that if I want to revamp and enhance the collaboration inside my organization and get my employee engaged with me, listening to my feedback and getting feedback from the employees, Microsoft Teams is one of the products. So if you look at the communication loop, we say there is a big loop. So Director General wants to pass one information to all employees. He will use something like Yammer. A new employee coming to the organization, he can use Yammer in order to interact with other colleagues. I can put the employee handbook there. If somebody wants to ask something about HR, he can go to Yammer, and there is a place for HR questions and so on. Teams is more of, I'll build smaller teams in order to collaborate together. So there is a certain task or a certain activity that I need to accomplish, and then I use Team for it. Outlook and SharePoint, I think you know them, but as well is the new enhancement of building intranet, collaborative intranet. Today I can get my collaboration on my mobile, as I mentioned, iOS, Android, but I'm also securing the information. So if, for God forbid, you lose your mobile, IT will be able to wipe the data on that device. So even if the device is lost, I can still keep confidential information intact from being leaked outside. The other thing which I wanted to mention, and it's related to the video that I've shown at the beginning, which is artificial intelligence and machine learning. How many of you goes in the morning to his office and then he gets certain amount of emails, he say, I'm gonna do 1, 2, 3, and then he end up the day by doing 4, 5, 6. Thank you, being honest. So it happens all the time. I put, these are the tasks I'm gonna do today because of the amount of changes happening, because of the question we're getting, because of the employee challenges that we have, that I don't end up by doing exactly the same tasks that I was supposed to do. There are urgent things, important things, certain management is asking for a certain report that I need to go and spend time on it. So we have pushed now on your exchange, if you're using the latest products that we have, how is your work habit? So you will get something called My Analytic. So Microsoft invested in the back office that I go through your calendar, I go through your tasks, I see how you're spending your time, and I push notification for you how effective you are interacting with different teams, with your team, and outside of the organization as well. So this is one of the things when we say that artificial intelligence and machine learning is not a very far-fetched concept. We have started implementing that into our services. So this is from my internal, my analytic. So I look at how I interact with my team. So last week, I've spent time with a person called Tariq Halwani, Mohammed Arif, Alessio, Karim Talhou. So on a weekly basis, I get my interaction internally in the organization. How am I interacting with people? And by the way, the first layer, which is the highest layer from 2.45 to 5 hours, is people outside of my direct team. So I have 17 people reporting to me. The 17 people are scattered around the Gulf region. And these are people from finance, from HR, from different departments. It gives me an indication how effective I am. And then it also pushes for me some ideas. So it shows me my meeting hours, the email hours, the focus hours, and this is only pushed to me. So my manager does not see that dashboard. And it gives me some insights. So if you look at the bottom part, your meeting hours increased from 9.3 hours to 21 hours for the past few weeks. And I know because last year we had a planning for the next quarter, so we were intensive on meetings. If I click on next, it will give me some ideas. How is my pattern reading emails? Whom I am reading emails from, whom I'm not reading emails from. Who is from my team is sending me emails I'm kind of ignoring for a while. All of this helps me to become more productive in the organization. And this is part of what we call artificial intelligence and machine learning that is embedded in majority of the service that you have seen in the video. So I think you agree with me is the amount of information is coming into our face is too many. Interaction with different people is heightening. To get one task done, I have to go and get approval from so many people today. I have to get sign-off from so many organizations inside my immediate organization and outside. So how can I do that and become more effective? The latest statistic shows that it's between 3 to 5 minutes that people concentrate on one task. And then you will get notified by an SMS or a WhatsApp or an email, or someone comes on back of your shoulder, your manager say, or calls you on the phone and say, can you come to my office? I need this, I need that, you change this, you change that. So amount of interruption becomes very high. So without the tools that I have spoke is that how can I avail information at the leisure of people, when they are mobile, when they are not connected to my corporate network, but at the same time securing them and making sure that they are effective without informing employees how do they interact together and what is good and what is bad, because there is another layer in my analytics. There is something called organization analytics, which takes all of these signals and aggregate them for the top management and shows how interaction between departments and happening. So we've discussed how can I become more productive, being mobile, at the same time being secure, and using some of the tools that we have today, but inside the organization. So today, instead of taking a picture of a certain agreement, law, item that we are going to launch and we'll send it to WhatsApp, I would take it on Teams and share it to my team members, or I share it with the people inside Teams. So inside Teams, it's something protected by the organization, not open on WhatsApp, for example. So there are so many examples that we can speak about. The only thing that I wanted to mention at the end is that this new culture, and this new, not new now with mobile era and being digital and getting access to all of this, it needs changes from IT and from HR in order to make employees more attached to the organization, getting that work done and becoming, I would say, as happy as they are in their personal life, but also in the work life as well. So that's my presentation. I hope it was beneficial. It gives you a different aspect of what we're doing in the HR arena, making people more productive, creative, and collaborative with each other. Thank you.
نشكر السيد محمد زايد على ما قدم.